But you see, people don't eat growth. They don't. So they were asking, yeah, Kibaki, you're telling us GDP and growth and interest rate, but we can't see anything. The same questions the people of Kenya are asking today. But the macroeconomic environment must be built first. There is no economics. You cannot deal with the microeconomic issues unless you tackle interest rates, strength of the currency, da 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 da. It took Kibaki 5 years. It has taken William Ruto 2 years. And in these 2 years, 1 year, he had a very, very, very disruptive opposition from outside. The second year, he had a terrible opposition from inside his government. Yet, he has brought the kind of impact that I've told you at the macro level. Now, what remains now the next 2 years is to work on what is music to our ears. Household incomes, job creation, microeconomic transformation of real sectors where our people derive their livelihood from. The Pesa Mfukoni agenda. The problem is that we said we will do ABCD and bring Pesa Mfukoni in 5 years, because that is the constitutional term. But on day one, you have a dishonest internal opposition inciting the public why a 5-year program should have been done in a year. And we are talking about a country recovering and a world recovering from a terrible post-COVID economy. It's not possible. And you know that lie has sold, because lying is cheap and lying is popular. And lying doesn't require any sophistication. You don't have to be a leader to lie. Anybody can incite the public. True or false? People don't hear things like wait or we are doing. They don't want. They want now. Where is the money in the pocket? So what some cheap leaders do, first they take advantage of the way human beings are wired to complain. You know, human beings are wired to complain, and we always want instant. That's how we are created. Hata watoto wanasema nataka mkate saa hii. Mtoto anasema I want bread now. Ukimwambia I have to send the house help to the kiosk, anasema now, mommy, now. I'm hungry now. So that's how human beings are wired. That's why the Israelites gave Moses a hard time in the desert. Because they are being told there is a land of milk and honey, but they can't see it. They can only see the desert. They are seeing the environment around them there. So what incomplete leaders do, they take advantage of those sentiments and they start now spinning, you see. Nothing is happening. There is nothing. Muliahidiwa, which is okay for somebody outside government. But we cannot do it ourselves. This team is the one that created this government. True or false? Tharaka Nithi vote for this government was one of the highest in Kenya, percentage-wise. Isn't it? So this is our government. This is our government, my friend. The people who never voted for this government are very few. Alafu, because of these challenges I've explained, mtu anakuja anawaambia pana tutoke kwa hii serikali, tuachane nayo, mwaka imeisha, mwaka mbili imeisha. But 5 years are not all over. Yeah? 5 years are not over. Even building a house, you have to dig downwards first before you start building upwards, isn't it? Ukitaka kuweka nyumba ya makaratasi, you don't need to dig down. You just put papers on top, but when the wind comes, it will just be blown off. So, leaders who are incomplete, they take advantage of those sentiments to incite the public. And the public loves incitement. It's the easiest job. Anybody can incite the public, even the most, sitaki kusema kitu hapo, lakini anybody can incite the public. Hey, chochea. That is how Barabbas secured his release on the day Jesus Christ was put on the cross. The Bible says his main job was causing insurrection and inciting the public against the authorities. Yo Biblia yuga wakukana kana ta yuga aeretwe athaikitwe awetwe athaikwa nuntu wa kwingira mwingi kuchochea umma. And 99% of the people calling themselves leaders are in that business. The work of a leader is not to listen to what the people are saying and assist them in saying it. Because if you listen to what they are saying and you assist them in saying it, so what is your role? And number two, many of the things the people say are not correct. But they say it because they do not have the facts that you and I have. They have not come to current, they have not been briefed by the deputy president, so they don't know. So the work of a leader is to guide the community, to guide the people, to tell them this one is okay. Yes, we need these 5 things, but this one, right now it is possible. This other one will require a year or 2. This, that is the work of a leader. If your work is to follow the people, you have no business calling yourself a leader because it is the people leading you. Isn't it? So who is leading the other? Yeah. So I expect you as opinion shapers, as leaders, to lead. And leading means you explain. You help people to see a picture they didn't have. You assist them because God has blessed you, you have some extra information, assist them to see things differently. But if people shout and say, we want this now, and it is not possible, then you go there and carry placards and start saying, yes, 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 we want. You have no business calling yourself a leader. And that's why you see a good leader is not popular all the time. But a good leader is popular at the right time. I repeat, a good transformative leader is not popular all the time. I have told you how Kibaki was very unpopular in 2005, 2 years after he was elected almost unanimously. But by the time President Kibaki was leaving in 2010, 2011, many people in Kenya were saying, I wish Kibaki could get at that term. True or false? Those of us who use this road to central Kenya, that's when the dual carriageway, Thika superhighway, started being built in 2009, 7 years after Kibaki's election. Not in 2003. That's when people saw the superhighway. Yeah, 50 kilometers from Nairobi to Keno. Kibaki did that without speaking Kikuyu and without climbing on trees to explain and publicize his love for the people of Gema. In fact, I was a young man. I served briefly in his government. If you are from central Kenya and where we come from, and you try to speak to President Kibaki in your mother tongue, he will tell you off. He has no time for nonsense. Yet, he transformed Kenya, and he transformed even our rural economy without speaking Kikuyu and without pontificating how he loves the Gema people. True or false? President Uhuru, who also appeared, also came from our region generally, also did wonderful programs. And I've just given the Superhighway for Kibaki. Kibaki did many things across Kenya. But it doesn't mean if you do across Kenya, you'll not do where you come from. You can do at home and away. Yeah. Musidanganywa ati for you can only succeed if you do things where you come from and ignore everybody else. Because again, you'll not have a country. President Uhuru, for me, at the last 2 years of his administration, we had political differences with President Uhuru when he chased me away without giving me a reason. I even asked him to explain, because it's not so much about the job. I was not keen on the job. In fact, that break gave me a bit of time to reorganize my personal issues, which had gone haywire because of my, I'm such a passionate person. I get committed to public service. So some private issues ilikuwa imeharibika. Nilitengeneza wakati Uhuru alinifukuza. Sasa niko sawa. Nilitengeneza zile miaka 2 Uhuru alinifukuza, hapo ndio nilijipanga. Mama yangu ya nyumbani hapo, unaona fence imeanguka, unarekebisha fence because you are not available. Fence imeanguka when you are serving the public. So President Uhuru, I had problems with him, political problems, the last 2 years, after he chased me away without giving me a reason. So I told President Uhuru, it is okay, I am going to leave, because I see you have made a decision. But please, tell the people of Tharaka Nithi and their mayor people and the people of Kenya, tell them, what is this big sin that this son of Tharaka Nithi has done? Ndio wajue, nimeiba? Am I corrupt? Have I insubordinated? What have I done? So, hakunijibu, tukakosana kidogo. But to his credit, President Uhuru is the one who started the Dongokundu bypass in Mombasa, which we've just completed. We found it at the tail end as Kenya Kwanza. President Uhuru, for us locally now, okay, because you need examples away and local. For us, the highway Kibaki left in Keno, he took it to Marwa. Isn't it? Isn't it? Sio ni kusonga. Hata sisi, hata kama iendi the way we wanted, iende, but still our journey is shorter today. Mpaka pale Makutano. True or false? Without speaking Kikuyu, without preaching to us every day how he loves Gema. Yeah? So I'm wondering, these other people who say they love us, they have never convened one single county, including the county they come from, to discuss development in your county. Hii upendo ni upendo ya kupeleka wapi? Munisaidie tu kuelewa. Me, I don't understand. What kind of love? And must you speak about it? Just do it. Just do. There's love. Just do it. We will see it. So today, I have called you to tell you that this administration, having laid the foundation, the economic foundation, that would have even taken longer. Okay? Kwa sababu kama bei ya unga 2 kilos ni 250 na inaongezeka by 10 shillings every week, you have to put money in subsidizing production to have enough maize so that if you have enough maize, you don't import anything, the price of maize flour will come down. That is what President Ruto was doing for the last 2 years. That is what has made unga to come from 250 to 120, around there, 110. Wearing sufurias on the head could not have changed. And the people wearing sufurias on the head, they had their time. Some were vice president. Everybody who worked on, even some of the people I saw the other day, I don't know, saying things, they were also in government, they were ministers, of water ministers, I don't know what. So, mimi nilikuwa interior minister Makambili, nilisukumana na 3 things. And I didn't know I would leave after 2 years. In fact, I thought best case scenario, I'll be there for 5 years. I thought so. Sikujua nitakaa 2 years. But there was a problem in the north, ile banditry. There was a place in Lamu here, the Boni Enclave, where we have many people, including immigrant communities, even from Tharaka Nithi. They are doing agriculture in Lamu there. Terrorists were butchering them every day. So there was terror, there was banditry, na mambo ya passport. And today, now that I'm no longer interior, if somebody asked me what I did as interior minister, I may not have done 10 things, but I'll quote the 3 things that I achieved. Isn't it? So, kwa sababu wakati wa siasa itafika, wale tutashindana nao, including my brother who was here. He was deputy president for 2 years. 2 years, deputy president. He will tell us also, as deputy president, what he did for all the counties of Kenya, including Tharaka Nithi. Mimi nimesema annually, every year, I will be giving my account. So yeye atasema, wakati alikuwa deputy president, he pushed this road, he pushed this project, he pushed this dam for us. Then hapo tutashindana mambo ya maendeleo. So it's going to be very rough. Watu wasifikirie, it's going to be so rough, my friend. Very rough. It's not going to be easy. You cannot come to incite people at barriers. Mtu amefiwa na loved one, unakuleta vijana hapo kupiga kelele. Sijui kwa wedding. Ama musician ametengeneza event, it's not even your event. Wewe unaundadia hapo, unakuja kuleta kisirani. And that habit is dangerous habit. Our area where I was born, this area, general area, central, we are not known for violence. Those behaviors were elsewhere. For the first time, and I'm speaking as the immediate interior minister, I was so downcast to see people burning each other's property in Karatina, in Embu, for the first time. People who know each other. Unajua ile duka ni ya fulani, supermarket ya nani, he has employed 20 children from here, unaenda unachoma. Dangerous politics, driven by poor leadership. And I have not said leaders should not listen. Listen and look for solutions. Not to listen and follow the crowd and incite them into anarchy, violence. Today, Kisumu, Kondele, used to be the most volatile political town and area in Kenya, where people were burning each other's property and you disrupt transport. Today, the headquarters is in Embu. Hapo Embu kuna kijana amekaa hapo, ati ni mjanja sana, ni maarufu sana, hapo anasanya vijana hapo ya kufunga barabara. Your own parents are passing by there going to hospital. Wewe kiongozi aina gani? You can say the same things you want to say, but don't disrupt the economy. Don't shut down the economy. Don't inconvenience innocent people who have nothing to do with politics. So it's not going to be easy. Nimeona kuna watu wanajipiga kifua, sijui vile watasema, sijui vile watafanya. They have no landing ground. It will be so rough. It will be rough. Ala, sasa niulize. Ile siasa nilikuwa nafanya hili kidogo, nilikuwa senator ile. Sikuwa na chochote. Sikuwa na kiti ya serikali. Sikuwa kwa executive. I had to go and beg other people. Oh, nisaidie barabara. Oh, nisaidie. Now I don't have to beg. Yeah. Alafu unaniambia we go and start opposing President Ruto hapa. There's only one person who can countermand me in Kenya. Only one. The whole country, by the grace of God, na maombi yenu. Only one person. One. From the executive, judiciary, legislature, 2 levels of government, everywhere. The whole country, God, by His grace and your prayers, only one person can overturn my decision. Sio ni baraka? So we should make use of it to assist our county, to assist Kenya. Yeah. So, wale wanategea ati, yani, na sasa governor, my brother, bro, and these other brothers and sisters hapa, tukue serious, bro. Do you know I love you? You know that. As a brother. You know you are a classmate with my elder brother. Na mimi ni mtu ya respect relationships. But we must be serious now. I met with my sister, Cess, the governor of Embu, who is also my sister and somebody I love and somebody we've walked a long journey together, politically. Kamwambia sasa wacha nikuongeleshe my sister, not as the deputy president of Kenya. Wacha nikuongelesha kama ndugu yako and your age mate. And you will do nothing about what I'm going to tell you. Amuliza Governor, how is it possible? You're the national chairman of UDA. You are a UDA governor and the national chairman of the ruling party. Alafu mtuambie rais hawezi kuja Tharaka nini? Atapigwa kelele na nani? Wale zama, ya tusidanganyane. Ya. So muniambie kama tukimaliza kuna mambo tunataka ku-unblock hapa na pale. Projects zingine zilikuwa zimekwama, tumepata solution. Once they are ready, mungetaka rais akuje? Yeah? Atakuwa well received? Are you sure? Kama kuna watu wanataka kupiga kelele, mimi niko tayari munipigie. I'm your son. There is no problem. Yeah. So, hiyo Embu tumesukuma. Hii Saturday tuko na event pale Embu ya 20,000 seated. Kwa kuketi hapo. Hii ni 1,000 na kitu. Hii ni 1,500 hapo. 20 seated. Ya maendeleo sio ya siasa. So watu wanaongea juu hapa, mtu amejawa na kiburi mingi. Hati sijui mimi, tumeona watu wengi, my friend. We even disagreed with President Uhuru Kenyatta when he was the commander-in-chief, when it became necessary. Because kuna wakora walienda wakamteka nyara hapo, aka lose something hapo. Lakini siku hizi tumekuwa marafiki. Nilikuta kulikuwa na mitego mingi ya kuseparate William Ruto na Uhuru Kenyatta, nikategua. Sasa, because we cannot afford to have our retired president talking with complaints out there. It is wrong for a country. And he is the only living former head of state we have. If the nation was in a crisis bigger than itself, we will require somebody with enough stature to be able even to speak to President Ruto and call the nation to order. Mzee Moi rested, Mzee Kibaki rested. That other person can only be a retired president, and that is Uhuru Kenyatta. He's the only one. The rest of us, we cannot, President Ruto is our boss. But as a retired head of state, he has the moral authority, if there are some things, to have a discussion with the sitting head of state, and they will agree on how to salvage the nation. So, sasa ni mabesti, tuko hivyo, tunaendelea kusonga namna hii. Alafu watu wengine wadogo hapa wanatutisha. It's because we don't talk. Wanatutisha, sijui tutafanya. Ufanye wapi? Pitie wapi, my friend? Utapitia wapi? Where now? Siku ile, wacha tu niwache. Sitaki kurudi kuongea mambo ya pale. Na wali ya karonguru karijagira nkanga madhoni nonto wakwaga inya. Wale wameelewa waeleze wale wengine. Karonguru karijagira nkanga madhoni nonto wakwaga inya. Na keno yusi wakura nkanga, lakini gatiena inya ya ukururia nkanga kaira mugunyeni. Aya. So nikimalizia what are we doing now? Hapo Tharaka Nithi, we know we have stalled projects. We don't have to repeat it here. I'm the one who launched all those projects. The only senator in Kenya who launched projects. That time, now, and maybe in the future. Na ungeona watu walikuwa wananisukuma hapo, wananipigia kelele hapo. The only senator, show me another one. So skiza. Lakini kidogo musipige Senator Kataya sana, kwa sababu even during my time when I was a senator for Tharaka Nithi, we had 47 elected senators of other counties. Siembu tulikuwa na Ndwiga, Meru tulikuwa na Kiraitu Murungi. Show me one project initiated by any of them as senators anywhere. After I left Senate, because I served for 2 terms, even now, one senator, including our own senator, hakuna. Even the Senate that will come, most likely there will be none. Nilikuwa na jaribu maujuzi hivi. Lakini sasa Mungu ametusaidia, sasa tuko sawa. Sisi ndio sasa tuko pale. So I know all those road projects. We are going to revive and complete all of them. Okay, wonder what? Hey, it's as simple as that. So I want in a next annual review, because we have 2 working years left before the campaigns. After 1 year, I will come here, I will call you again, either here or in Kavana. You ask me, how has this government pushed the roads agenda, the stored roads, how many and where are we on that? Sinamna hiyo? All of them, okay? We have electricity connections, different levels of connectivity. We're going to push it towards 100% in all the 3 constituencies. We are building, you know, what the work that remains now is now building the house upwards. And it has, and this will be my conclusion, it has 7 aspects. 1, it is revitalization of the sectors of the economy where the majority of the people of Kenya derive their livelihood from. Tunataka tubadilishe na tuongeze mapato katika sekta za uchumi ambazo wananchi wengi katika Jamhuri ya Kenya wanatoa mapato yao ya kila siku. Na hiyo ni katika sekta ya kilimo, ufugaji, masuala ya uvuvi for the western and coastal areas, and the blue economy and mining. That is what we call the real sector. 80% of the people of Kenya derive their household incomes from agriculture, livestock production, fisheries, blue economy, and fisheries. Already, if you do that, you'll have touched 80+% of the people of Kenya, especially at the grassroots. Up at Tharaka Nithi, we know the value chains, where most of our people get their daily bread from. It is in tea, coffee, dairy, dengu, and the cereals. It's around there, isn't it? Those are the sectors we are investing. And also in introducing other value chains like cotton, which are dyed and so forth and so on. Because when you touch these sectors and the returns we get from them increase, you touch households. You touch every home where they were getting 10,000 per year, okay? 10,000 per year is like 1,000 per month. They start getting 100,000 per year, which is like 10,000 a month. It looks more to you because you have money. But the ripple effect in the economy is tremendous. That is what we call bottom-up economic transformation. Revitalizing sectors where the majority of the people of Kenya derive their livelihoods. We have our value chains, we are working on them. And I'll give my accountability statement in due course. The second thing we are doing is to put in place the support infrastructure to help these value chains bring in more wealth and more incomes to the people. What do I mean? For us to transform agriculture, livestock, fisheries, and the blue economy sectors, and mining, we need good roads, road infrastructure. That is a support infrastructure. Power, electricity. Then we have what we call county aggregation and industrial parks, because we have to move to value addition. And Governor, we need to have a conversation. We see how we can support you to expedite the Tharaka Nithi County Aggregation and Industrial Park. Hiyo ndio kazi ya Deputy President. Kama kuna KAIP Tharaka Nithi, anatatua. The next county, anatatua. The other county, anatatua. Sio kungojea rais. Kazi yangu ni kureport progress. Alafu ikikamilika, rais akuja afungue. Sinamna hiyo? So, we are building roads. Support infrastructure is roads, it is electricity, it is the county aggregation and industrial parks. In some counties, regions, we have special economic zones, which are part of that infrastructure. We are also building markets so that you have dignified places where trade can take place, and an aggregation and value addition center so that we stop selling raw materials. We add value. And some of the value addition required is very small. Kama ni ndengu, if you just sort the ndengu and just make sure that you remain with the best, then you package nicely in 2 kilogram or 1 kilogram pack, and you brand it as a product of Tharaka Nithi. That is already value addition. It will improve the price significantly, other than using mukebwa kembo to pour the ndengu, and some of it is rotten, some of it, you know, the price will just shoot up. That is what supermarkets do. They buy it at 70 shillings, they go sort it, they package it, they put it in the shelf, and they sell at 200 shillings. What have they done? Sorting, packaging, and branding. Total of that value addition is less than 5 shillings. They bought at 70. But the presentation is so good. So when Professor Tharaka goes to the supermarket, when he's coming from the university, he will buy that at 200 shillings. But the fellow selling it at Nkondi sold it for 70. The supermarket has gotten twice the value. Supermarket hana shamba, halimi, havuni, ako papo anangojea mkulima wa Nkondi tu alime, alafu is getting twice what the farmer is getting. These things look like abstract, but that's how you transform a community. That's how you transform a country. And as I said, transformative actions are not popular because people want the things they can see now. Later on, when these things start realizing, that's when people say, oh, President Ruto had a point. But by that time, he will be completing his second term and going home. Yeah? As they say, before you realize your father was right, you already have a son who thinks you're wrong. And for the ladies, before you realize your mother was right, you already have a daughter who thinks you're wrong. So it's okay, we are not looking for popularity. The time for popularity will come, and we'll canvass popularity politics at the right time. The third thing we are doing is investing in the housing program. People don't understand the housing program. The housing program sorts out many things. One, it increases the Human Development Index of Kenya. One of the reasons why some countries are top among the rich countries of the world is the quality of dwellings, houses that their people live in. Singapore, for example, is the most developed country in the world. It is 99% of the citizens of Singapore are home owners. Almost everybody. And when the president, the visionary leader of that country started that program about 40 years ago, he was almost impeached. Exactly what we are doing 40 years later is what Singapore did 40 years ago. He was almost impeached. Oh, we have houses. Tuko na nyumba, you know, cheap thinking. You don't understand economics. Kila mtu ako na nyumba. So, even introduce compulsory savings. Mandatory by law in Singapore. You must save. It is your money. Kama hii NSSF tumeongeza. NSSF is money for the retiree. But we force you to save so that you have enough package to go home, so that you don't retire and die the following day, because after 40 years, you have accumulated so little. So the housing program is helping us in the Human Development Index. Kenya's growth and development will rise. The housing project is helping us absorb some youths who are idle for the next 2, 3, 4 years. Don't ask us what they will do after that. By that time, we'll have another program. So between staying idle in the markets and heckling leaders and being busy in a construction site for the next 2, 3 years, which one is better? And better keep them busy. They earn every day. So by the time they finish that project or that program, we'll have made other interventions for them. And the people who are opposing the housing project have jobs and they have houses. It is also helping us to resuscitate the construction sector cement, steel, sand, all those things that go into construction. That industry, the construction industry, will be revived because of that involvement. Number 4, we are, because macroeconomic stability, then you have revitalization of critical sectors where we get our livelihood from. Then there's the housing program. And then number 4, it is jobs. It's jobs. And I don't have time to say what we are doing right now and going forward on job creation, but we must reduce the number of our jobless youths. We have no option. We are doing it through temporary jobs in some of the programs, like the Affordable Housing Program, and also in the Climate Works Program, which we are now going to roll out. We have Nairobi now engaged 20,000 youths. We will double it to 40,000 youths. We want every county to be a center for climate works, similar to what used to be called Kazi Mtaani, at least to keep our young people busy for the time being as we work on the long-term interventions. But we are also encouraging our young people who are young and educated, who cannot get the jobs we are providing. If they get jobs abroad, let them go and work, invest at home, save. When they want to come back after 5, 10 years, they can always come back. There are people saying we are doing labor export. We are not exporting Kenyans. We are just doing what is known as labor mobility. The same way, many children were born in Tharaka, Nithi, but they work in Mombasa today. They go home after 3 months or 6 months or at the end of the year. They are still children and sons and daughters of Tharaka, Nithi, but they work in Mombasa, isn't it? What is the difference if the person is working in Dubai, the one who doesn't have the job in Mombasa? There's no problem. In fact, the person in Dubai, when they are coming home, will reach Tharaka, Nithi before the person coming from Mombasa reaches Tharaka, Nithi. Because it's under 5 hours to Jomo Kenyatta and 2 hours there. Huyu mwingine akikalia barabara kutoka hapo Kilindini, kufika Nairobi 8 hours. Na amechoka. Another transfer, another 3-4 hours. Tafika the following day. So in a modern world, between keeping our youths idle and getting them jobs anywhere, we would rather get them jobs wherever we get a job. They invest, they save, they are always welcome to come back home. So tunasema we have programs for kazi kwa ground, kazi mtandaoni, na kazi majuu. We are also creating ICT jobs. Hiyo ndio kazi mtandaoni. ICT, through the ICT hubs, digital jobs, content creators, and the creative economy. So we have that job agenda, which we are pushing extremely hard to make sure that we need. So I'm left with 2 last ones, that is health and education. All the 5 I have mentioned are in the economic sector. The 2 last priorities for this government are in the social sector. One is health. SHA is not working, SHA is not working, SHA is not working. Before 2022, the National Hospital Insurance Fund, NHIF, covered only 9 million Kenyans, adults and children, including the secondary school children, 9 million, through EduAfya. To be eligible to join NHIF, you must either have a payslip or some other ability to pay the subscription. True or false? NHIF, either uko na payslip ama uko na uwezo wa kulipa ile subscription. Today, after just rolling it out for 3 months, and we are going to continue for the next 3 years, we have 18.5 million Kenyans with a medical insurance, from 9 to 18. We will push it to 40, 45, 50 million. That is what we call universal health coverage. Why? Because it is not only the employed people and the people who can pay who fall sick. See, everybody gets sick. Si kila mtu anakuwa mgonjwa. Why have an NHIF that caters for somebody with a payslip and somebody with ability to pay? Taifa Care, SHA, Universal Health Coverage, is to make sure every citizen have a medical insurance to take care of their medical needs when they fell ill, because everybody falls ill. That is the aim. Many countries have struggled with universal health care. It's very problematic. In America, Obama brought it in 2016. The Supreme Court dismantled parts of it. It's very political. But it is very transformative for every Kenyan to have an insurance. Why? Because, as I have said, everybody falls sick. Kila mtu anakuwa mgonjwa. Number two, for us to ensure that every Kenyan is insured, we must look at our contribution schedule. Taka tusikizane vizuri, ndio nyinyi sasa ndio mnaenda kuwa mabalozi kule mashinani. For us to insure every Kenyan, we must look at how much everybody is contributing. Okay? As deputy president, as a senator, as members of parliament, governor, everybody, the top contributor was being surcharged 1,700 per month. Whether you earn 200,000, 500,000, 1 million, 1.5, you pay 1,700. The poor woman in Itogororo, the poor woman in Makori, the poor woman in Kalangasheni was paying to be part of NHIF 500 shillings. Is that fair? Is that fair? Rice anatoa 1,700, wabunge 1,700, mama mboga with nothing 500. So what this universal health care has done, we have said those who earn more, you be deducted a little more, you pay a little more to allow us pay for everybody, including the person who cannot raise any money for the insurance. And that's where you are having the discomfort. The discomfort is coming from me as deputy president, or from the member of parliament, or from the governor, because we are paying more. So that our relatives who calls us for Arambe every week, 5, 10 Arambes, stop fundraising and stop selling their land. We are paying a little more. It's a bit uncomfortable, so that all our relatives, our neighbors, can each have an insurance fund scheme. That's why people are opposing it. So ukisikia vita, ni vita ya watu ya siasa. Deputy president, governor, mbunge, because hao wabunge, wacha niseme tu, because nilikuwa senator juzi, walikuwa wanakatwa 1,700, sasa wanakatwa 30,000. They are the ones opposing it, sio hawa from other places. Now your 30,000 is so that you stop doing 100 Arambes in your constituency every day. In fact, you spend more money in those Arambes than the 30,000 to ensure everybody gets a medical insurance. So, na tumesema ule mtu ya mwisho tumepunguza, sio 500 ni 300. So how can you oppose a cheaper medical scheme? Na tumesema we are developing a means testing tool so that the person who is assessed and they can't pay the 300, they get the insurance free of charge. Hapo ndio fitina inakujia hapo. Because wale wako na pesa wataki kunini, wanataka kukaa hapo, watu maskini huko chini, wao wana beg and worshiping them to come and do fundraisers for them. Because they have sold the farm, they have sold the cow, they have sold the chicken, they have sold everything. They are poor, The last resort, mheshimiwa, DP, kuja tuchangie harambee. And because you want to keep people needy, you oppose it so that you'll be there to throw a few coins. Alafu napigwa makofi, hey, mheshimiwa, you are a great man. May you live forever. Okay? It took the courage of President Obama to get Obamacare in America. Although the Supreme Court amended it a bit, it is what is serving America today. And we thank God Obama became president before the current president, because I don't think it would have sailed through under the current administration. So, President Kibaki, brilliant son of Kenya, tried to bring universal health coverage. Politics stood on the way. And he was advised by the characters around it, let us be popular. Sisi tuko na insurance. Acha watu wafanye mambo yao. President Ruto, or President Uhuru, before I come to President Ruto, well-meaning, well-intentioned, introduced housing, introduced universal health care. Politics came through. He pulled back. Good people, this time round, we are not pulling back. By the grace of God, by the time we go to the next general election, we are hoping 35,000, 40,000 people of the Republic of Kenya will have a medical cover. As we go towards universality. Million, sorry, please correct that. I hope watu ya magazeti hawataenda ku. You are the Gachuri, you guys sometimes concentrate on the small things. 35 million to 40 million. It doesn't matter how costly it is. Please. It doesn't matter. Even if we don't win the election, President Ruto doesn't win the election, it's okay. There's no problem. You'll have served as president anyway. Isn't it a blessing even to serve even for 5 years, even for 1 year, even for 1 day? How many Kenyans are there? Every Kenyan is qualified to be president. If you are lucky to be in the seats we occupy, including you MPs, including myself, including you, Governor, don't consider yourself like a superhuman. It's the grace of God. Yeah. So usitutishe ati rais a one-term president. And pia watu wengine wanatutisha huko jana. Ati our job is to make sure William Ruto is a one-term president. That is your objective. Here too. Just that. And you will have achieved a lot. President Ruto is lucky to be among the 5 Kenyans who have occupied the seat of President of Kenya. Some, 24 years. Others, 10 years. If he gets 5, so be it. If he gets how many days, so be it. There are many qualified people. The same for me. I told you when I became Minister for Interior, niliangalia siasa nikasema, at least the first time labda nitaserve hapa. Maybe if we win a re-election, maybe the president will take me in another ministry, I don't know. But I thought perhaps I'll stay for 5 years. I stayed for 2. So I had to work every day as if that is the last day in office. Yeah. Mimi nimekuwa naibu wa rais. Today is the 89th day in office. I am working as if this is it. Hakuna siku ingine ni hii tu. That's how I'm working, because you don't know. We live and work by the grace of God. There was somebody in this office. Today he's not here. Now he's giving us ultimatum from funerals. How he will make William Ruto a one-term president. As if that is an achievement. William Ruto's objective is not to serve for 2 terms. It is to use the time that God will give him in office to bring transformative programs in 1, 2, 3 areas and then leave so that other people can come and take Kenya forward. As his principal assistant, That is my objective too, to support him. So msikuja kututisha na one time, my friend. Mimi kwanza nimekuwa DP 89 days ni mingi. Yeah, nikitoka nitakuwa nimekuwa deputy president. Listi kisomo hata mimi nitakuwa hapo. Unatishwa na mambo kidogo hapa, sijui 2027, who will be the running mate, mambo ya upuzi. Useless. Na greed, that's what greed does to leaders. Yeah. Ile nyama inakujonga ni ile iko kwa sahani. Yeah. You get something and the next thing you're there scheming, I don't know, doing what, harassing everybody. My friend, nani alikuambia hata tutakuwa ile? You don't know, so please. So sisi tuko focus. Na kama unatutisha na one time, tafuta another threat. Even one time is okay. Yeah, it's no problem. But the issue is, after that one term, what will he say? If William Ruto will say, at the end of my first term, I have moved the people insured with a health card from 9 million to 40 million, he will be a successful Kenyan. Sindio? Yeah, so sisi tuko hapo. Then we also want to do educational reforms, because education is what runs the entire country. It's the software that runs the country. And we have issues. The CBC had some issues when we were campaigning. Many parents were saying, scrap CBC. So we had to do some adjustment, and I'm grateful to the scholars and the people who are in the Presidential Working Party. They have relooked at some of the proposals. CBC now is fairly getting steady. But we have issues with the university funding model. Many universities were almost becoming bankrupt. We came with a new model. There are small issues in court. We are even adjusting for the September intake to take on board the suggestions that have been given. If you talk to many vice chancellors today, they will tell you this current proposal from Kenya Kwanza is more stable to the university than what we used to have before. There are some gaps. We are adjusting those gaps. The same with health. There are some gaps in Taifa Care, but we are adjusting those gaps along the way. And let me tell you, good people, it is better to have an imperfect health coverage for every Kenyan than no coverage at all. Sinamna hiyo? If every Kenyan has a card, maybe as insurance, maybe it is not perfect, because all human enterprises are not perfect. But that's a better conversation, how we can perfect it, than millions of our people begging alms, literally begging. And their leaders spending their entire whatever they have. Some even go into their businesses to fund medical harambes. So the reason we are focused on Taifa Care, housing, reviving these sectors, I have said, macroeconomic stability, support infrastructure. The reason is because they will transform Kenya. They will make Kenya better than we found it 2 years ago. Many more people will have bearable living conditions than they were when we took over. If in the process we suffer popularity consequences, so be it. I conclude by saying, sasa nyinyi mnatoka Tharaka Nithi. Deputy President of Kenya alizaliwa hapo. Please, I have no power to, whatever you decide is within your power. Maybe elsewhere I have some power, I have some leverage, but at home I have no power. Because you are my neighbors, you are my relatives. So you decide. Nyinyi decide. You decide. Mimi I cannot come there now at the campaign center yangu ni Marimandi. By the time utoke hapo ufike Sigalagala ama Lunga Lunga, ama sijui core. So nyinyi, mi naomba kwa heshima munisaidie. Muniombee jameni. Muniombee. Muombee rais. Muombee rais, and don't be cheated by anybody. What is the alternative? Kalonzo and Wajakoya? Ati serikali tulitafuta kwa jasho miaka mingi. Mimi, I've been around President Ruto for 18 years. All my youth, I've been around that man. Today is the president. He is the only man between me and the whole country. Then I start sabotaging him. Ati nianze kumchimba. Takuwa mchinga wa mwisho. So we will do whatever it takes. Mimi naomba tu kwa heshima, because you know I can't sasa kina Kithoka au ni watu ya nyumbani, kina Gaturo, mmeona hapa, watu ya home. Naona watu ya home hapa kina Anita. Sasa sitaki tukuje tusukumane hapo nyumbani, please. Please, sitaki. And also be careful what you say, especially the things you put on social media. Because the whole country now is watching you. If you speak thinking you are an MCA, nobody knows you. The fact that you are an MCA from Tharaka Nithi, the whole country wants to hear what is the MCA from Tharaka Nithi saying. Sinamna hiyo. Na wanasema Tharaka Nithi kule kwa deputy president. Sindio? So please, in a home, huwezi kosa kukosana. Tunatafuta viti hapa, tunapinga sijui nani, tunataka hii kiti, na tuko wengi, mnavurugana hapo. Lakini sasa hapa juu tuwe careful tusiharibu. Na tuwe careful vile tunaongea, because majirani na watu wa Kenya wanaangalia. Huyu mwenzangu alitolewa kwa kiti kwa kuongea mambo ya nyumbani kasoro hekima. Hakuna mtu aongeangi mambo ya nyumbani, lakini kwa heshima, kwa hekima, kwa hekima. So don't push me. Ati tunataka deputy president tutangazie. So unataka nikae hapo niseme, mimi napenda sana mlima, sijui napenda Tharaka Nithi. Havana. I've told you Kibaki never even spoke Kikuyu. Not once. If you try to talk Kikuyu to Kibaki, he would have slapped you. Yet, he is the person who impacted on Kenya and on the economy of central Kenya most consequentially than any other president. Napenda nyinyi, nawapenda. Hujajenga choo, hujajenga barabara, hujaita watu kuongea mambo ya ndengu ama majani chai, haujazungumzia chochote. Nawapenda sana. Au wengine ni komerera. Nimwambia huyu mtu, nikamwambia wacha kupigana na wabunge. Watakuumiza. Those are, you know. Sasa unajua nikiona Murugara anataka kuniharibia ama Pato, what I will do, nitamuita pole pole. So Pato ni kijana yangu. Tukiwa na Njoke hapa, tamwambia sasa, please Pato, tumetoka mbali. Unajua, please, as your father, usinitoe nguo mbele ya watu. Lakini nikianza kumuita komerera, atika kunea. Amepata barabara ya kuteremkia. Na ni mteremko, amepata mtu mkubwa wa kupigana naye. I'm telling you. Bana. Ati sasa mtu ya Tharaka Nithi ndiye anaenda hapo kusema ati hatutaki nani. I will feel very hopeless. So nikiona kinaumana, sinajua hao watu wote. Kama ni mama, my mother there Gateria, namwambia najua nimekukosea, lakini mama, hata kama unachapa kijana, ni pole pole. Wakati tuko, kuna kamera, kuna... Yeah, so naomba tuhifadhi. Me, I'm not saying you should not compete. In fact, the pressure you put on me, now and in the future, is how those who will not get seats, how we will accommodate them in government. And I've already seen some of them hapa. That is the pressure I want. Lakini sio kwa mtandao, Ukiweka kwa mtandao tunakozana. Kwa sababu sasa uko pamoja na maadui wangu. Ule ako kwa mtandao ni adui. So ukiingia huko tunapita na wewe huko. Yes. But the healthy thing is to say, tuko na viongozi wetu, where can we face this one? How do we support this area? Na tujue Kenya to take the country forward. And that's the heavy task President Ruto has. He needs to carry the entire country. He needs to be the father figure of the whole nation. Every part of Kenya needs to feel him and have benefits from his administration. So nataka nikomee hapo na washukuru sana. Mimi leo ni siku ya Tharaka Nithi. We are going to proceed as follows. We are going to take a short break. But we will take the short break. For 10 minutes, we take a cup of tea. And then for 20 minutes, we look for space. We have enough space here, kwa hii compound. We go into constituency groups. Si tuko na constituency tatu. But I want to persuade you, we create a fourth constituency. And that is the constituency of women, children, affairs, PWDs. I know we have our women rep who normally their mandate is around that agenda, and it can be lost if it is lumped with the general development issues. Because these are sectors that require affirmative action and special measures, even under the Constitution. So between the women rep, I am told now you are vying for a different seat, but you are still the women rep. Amba umewacha? Okay, bado uko pale. Plus those who are, it's okay mwesh. Plus those who are looking for the seat. Aspirants wote wako hapa. Sio ni agenda yao, ndio tawachia vile whoever carries the vote will be our women rep. So that cluster ikuwe separate, iongee hiyo maneno for 30 minutes. So 10 minutes for tea, 30 minutes for constituency groups, 4 of them. You caucus and agree, each of those groups, you will agree on 5 priorities that you require from this government. You have heard the things I've said for the last 1.5 hours. Useme sisi kama Mara, we have these tolled roads, tunataka zote, serikali ikiwezekana, itafute pesa to complete these roads. Number 2, we have this major water project. There are many other water projects, but this major one. Number 3, maybe electricity. Number 4, just 5 priority areas. Sinamna hiyo. The governor, the Excellency Mdhomi Njoki, and the women rep, and the senator, the honorable senator, because they are county leaders, they are free to hop into the different groups so that they don't look like they belong to one corner. If they choose to, but they don't have to be there. The members of parliament, you can choose either to join your constituency or you appoint someone to run the consensus. We know these things. It's just that we want to build broader consensus. So after the 40 minutes total now, we come back for the plenary. For plenary, every constituency to identify somebody to read out the 5 priorities. You'll be given 3 minutes, every constituency. And I suggest it should not be the member of parliament reading. Mutafute mtu mwingine hapo, ndiye hata yeye, awe ndiye ana address deputy president. Mimi nitaketi pale na notebook. So mmoja akuja hapa, kwa Chuka Igamba Ng'ombe, wa Tharaka akuja hapa, wa Mara akuja hapa, wa those special interest group akuja hapa. After that, and don't give speeches. Just say we agreed for our 5 priorities are 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 minutes you sit down. Hakuna haja hata ya protocols. So you already established the protocols. Sema tu ongea, just talk. And then after that, we will, because today is not a political day, it's not a day to talk. It was a day for me to tell you what I expect from you and what you should expect from me, isn't it? After we report those in those groups, we will make munajipanga mambo ya kesho. This is not the place. So on behalf of the MCAs, the speaker utasema tu jambo, but not as an aspirant for Chuka Igamba Ng'ombe. Kwa sababu hapo mnavurugana na pato. So today is not the day. Siku ile mutarudi, you can continue with your maneno. Ule atapata, akuwe mbunge. Ule atakosa, muniletee ni mutafutie mahali kwa serikali. Because both of them are my brothers. Number two, then on behalf of MCAs, we'll ask the constituency MPs, just 1 minute each. Then the senator, the women rep, the senator, the governor. Then finally, I'll ask maybe a member of the clergy or other people, or maybe the professionals. One professional to come and give us 2-3 sentences, because again today we'll have a meeting with professionals alone, because your input cannot be transacted in a 5 minute whatever. So the professionals can agree, one of them, and then the clergy, the clergy will come and close for us with the blessings, with a prayer, and after that we will go for lunch. After the lunch, maybe before we go for lunch, we will remain here. Maybe the leaders will retreat, we all remain here, so that you'll be given the logistical information of how you'll go home. And for the Gen Zs, the offer of the swimming pool is still valid. And it's a serious offer. So, kwa hayo mengi, naomba tuende chai, then in groups. In those groups, identify who
The Honorable Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka, kiongozi wa DAP Kenya, the Honorable Eugene Wamalwa, honorable members, senators, MCAs, and all leaders present. God is good, and all the time. Nisalimieni kwa hewa. Bwana Yesu asifiwe. Asanteni sana. Party leader Eugene Wamalwa, let me also offer my congratulations to you, your NEC, and the party of DAP for the unveiling of your offices here today, and I'm honored to have been invited because it's a great milestone in our democratic process, and as we embark on a journey to liberate this country from bad governance, corruption, and dictatorship. And I am very elated to join this team of distinguished leaders in this country who have played a significant role in our democratic process. I have come with many senators and members of parliament who we work with as a way of showing our solidarity with this team. I want to give my commitment and that of my team and our supporters, and there are many, they are in millions, that we are part of this team and we'll walk this journey together to liberate this country. And we shall make whatever sacrifices necessary to make sure that William Ruto is a one-term president. People have short memories. President William Ruto has a very short memory. This team here, we sat with him in my house and we assured him that he'll be president and we'll do whatever it takes to make sure he is president. And we worked very hard. And we took him to State House. And when he reached there, he put aside everything we had agreed on how we need Kenya to be. We had 47 economic charters with each and every county agreeing on the economic interventions that will be required for each county. He put them aside. We had agreed on the payment of pending bills for our business community to bring money into circulation. He put that one aside. We had agreed on the bottom-up economic model of putting money into people's pocket. The minute he reached State House, he changed course. He got a small team of economic advisors and came up with a very brutal program of removing whatever little money was in people's pocket from their pockets. Along the way, I could not agree with him. I couldn't agree with him because I'm a very principled person. And I told him, boss, we have lost focus. This is what we told the people of Kenya. We had assured the people of Kenya that we will never carry out evictions and demolitions that are inhuman. And when he made a decision to evict people from Nairobi River along the line, and the Nairobi River Commission was in my office and he asked me to lead that program, I told him I can't do it because it's against my principle. And he said, you must do it. When we had the Finance Bill 2024, I was a lone voice in cabinet telling him, listening to the people of Kenya, they will not accept this finance bill. And it will leave us with an egg on our face. He became intolerant. He became dictatorial. And the government that he leads is a one-man show. I can tell you today, all those ministers you see there, they are flower girls. I was the only man in that cabinet who could stand up and tell him, hey boss, no, this can't work. And that's why he needed me out, so that he can put a protege and other fellows just to say, yes sir, yes sir. It's a praise and worship choir for the president. And I couldn't fit in that choir. I couldn't fit in that choir, you know, and he is very bitter, extremely angry, very irritable that for a whole 6 days he's just abusing me in Western Kenya. Rigathi Gachagua is not a road in Webwe. He is not a hospital in Vihiga. He is not a water pan in Kakamega. He is not a slaughterhouse in Bungoma. President of the Republic of Kenya has gone to Western for 6 days, just talking about Rigathi Gachagua, occasionally Kalonzo Musyoka, because he is bitter that his voting bloc, the one that made him president, the Mount Kenya bloc, is gone and gone and gone forever. And I told him, it is his own undoing. I told him, don't touch the mountain. You see the Bible. If you read the Exodus, I told him, don't. Many times. But because he has some young MPs he moves around with, young boys who are born in towns and brought up with Tharaka, they don't know the community. So they tell him, no, it's okay, no problem. Mulima ni yako, wewe ulikuja huko mwenyewe, hao watu ni wako, hata ukitoa huyu weke huyu hakuna shida. Nikamwambia mimi ni mzee. Hao watu mimi nawajua. These fellows on the mountain, they hate betrayal and they hate deception. Because of what Mzungu did to them, they hate betrayal. And you yourself, President William Ruto, you are a beneficiary of my community's distaste for betrayal. When they decided that Uhuru Kenyatta has betrayed you, they turned against Uhuru for betraying you in their view and voted for you. And you are not one of them. They hated one of their own to support you, and you are not one of their own. If you betray one of their own, you tell me the story. Today, as we speak, his messages of condolences are unwelcome in the mountain. And you know that's the lowest it can go. You know, funerals are very solemn. In my community where I come from, even if it is suspected you had a hand in the death of the person being buried, people still allow you to come and even give condolences. When a people say they cannot listen to your condolence, you know it's over. The other day we were in Embu, and they are trying to blame Justin Muturi Bidan because the people rejected his condolence message. The president wrote him abusive messages the whole night, threatening to sack him. But even if you sack Bidan Muturi, nothing will change in that area. Nothing. And I told him, and he cannot say I did not tell him. Because me, I'm an honest man. I sat him down and I said, boss, you believe my naguza. Now, why he's annoyed is because 47% of his support, 4 million votes, iko nje. Sasa anategemea ati Raila akienda AU, he can transfer zile zake. Zile za Raila zilikuweko za Wiper, they are not there. Ile ya Mulembe is not there. Hii ya Kisii is not there. Huyu jamaa amekwama. Amekwama. And I can tell you, because I know him, he is cornered. Kazi yetu ni rahisi sana. Is to stay together and unite our people. Mimi naomba jamii ya Mulembe. Amekuja huko anaita mimi mkabila. Ati ndio mimi nisisaidie nyinyi. Siku nilimsaidia, hakujua mimi ni mkabila. When we voted for William Ruto, we knew he's not a Kikuyu. 87% of my people voted for him. We knew he's not a Kikuyu. 13% voted for Raila Odinga. We knew he's not a Kikuyu. We had our own candidate called Wahiga Mwaura. We never voted for him because we are not tribal. Saa hii ameona tunashikana na watu ya Wiper. Ameona tunashikana na Mulembe Nation. Na hapo Mulembe Nation ndio naona amekwamia hapo. I think it's his last hope. Sasa anakuja huko kusema ati mimi ni mkabila, ati ndio msinikaribishe tusifanye pamoja. President William Ruto, hear it from here, Chui House. The same way Mulima ilisaidia wewe, it is possible tunaweza saidia hii watu ya Mulembe. It is the same way tunaweza saidia huyu Kalonzo. Na sisi hatuna contract na wewe. Deni yetu na wewe tulimali. We had intended to pay you in 2 installments. Tukakupatia the first installment, ukagusa mlima. Hiyo deni ikafanya nini? Kaisha. We owe you no debt. So, anaenda pale Western, anasema tumefukuza huyu Rigathi Gachagua, and he is corrupt. William Ruto, my friend, do you have the moral authority to talk about corruption? And we sympathize with you because juzi kumekuwa na opinion poll on the most corrupt person in the world. And we are unhappy that you are rigged. Instead of giving you number 1, they gave you number 2. Let me say, I want to say, let me say, President William Ruto could not agree me to stay in government because I could not agree to corruption. The State House of Nairobi is the real center of corrupt activities. And there are two, watu wawili, moja anaitwa Adil na mwingine anaitwa Jayesh. These are the conveyors of corruption in this country. Na ndio watu wenye she and sha. Ndio wale watu ya Adani. Nao watu wakija kuona rais, hata ukiwa deputy president ama minister, utamungoja hapo saa 5 akiongea na hiyo watu. Wakipanga hiyo mane? So Mr. President, be an honest man. Look for a mirror before you talk about corruption and look at yourself. If you think the people of Kenya are very intelligent, Rigathi Gachagua has not been associated with any scandal in this country. So wewe unaenda pale unasema he is incompetent. In matters incompetence, Mr. President, I tend to agree with you to a certain extent. Serikali yako ni ya uongo, kutenga, kudanganya watu. Uliandika mkataba na watu ya Western, ukaamjema utajenga 1000 kilometers, hujajenga. Umekuwa hapo juzi unafungua transformer. Wewe, mimi ulitaka nikusaidie kudanganya wa Kenya. In matters kudanganya wa Kenya, Mr. President, I'm incompetent. Absolutely. I accept. Because hiyo alikuwa anataka tuende ku launch barabara na anajua hakuna budget, tukitoka matinga inafanya nini? Sasa hiyo ndio kazi rais anataka nimsaidie. Ndio anasema huyu haelewi programu za serikali. Sasa kwenda kupeleka matinga ukijua hakuna kazi inafanywa, hiyo ni programu ya serikali? He was telling me to go and defend Adani. Tulikuwa na Eugene Wamalwa, huyu mheshimiwa, na Onyonga kwa mazishi Kitale. Huyu Onyonga akaamuka, akalima serikali mambo ya Adani, na mimi nakaa tu pale. I don't want to nod because I'm still in office. That Adani thing is the worst form of corruption in this country. So mimi nilipoamuka, I never responded. So one of the PAs ya mkubwa akanipigia simu. Mtu yuko huko, mtu ya 36. Wewe ni deputy president ya sangapi? Maana ya deputy president, you speak last. Dio ile maneno yote iko baya serikali ukanu. Kwa nini huyo Onyonga alilima serikali mambo ya Adani and you are not defending? Nikamwambia I cannot answer you. Tell your boss to call me. So president amenipigia, nimemwambia mimi siwezi. That thing is corruption. I cannot defend it, Mr. President. I cannot. That is why he is saying I was not defending government programs. Sasa corruption, is it a government program? So wanasema ati I'm incompetent. Hii mtu hakuna kitu anaelewa. Sasa kama serikali ni wizi tupu, sasa what is there to defend? Walinipeleka Senate ati nimekataa watu watolewe Nairobi River. Walinishitaki nimekataa watu wafukuzwe Marigiti Market. Those are things I could not do. Ukiangalia hii maneno ya affordable housing, It is the worst fraud against the people of Kenya. And it's good today I tell the country. And those are things he was telling me to go to TV to defend. I told him I will not. Mimi pia nikichwa ngumu. That housing, initially we believed in the president. That ni ya kuleta ajira, nini, maneno kizungu mingi, we looked okay. Until it came to my attention, it has nothing to do with housing. Ni biashara. Ya kwamba PS wa housing. Ukitaka kujenga affordable housing, you must go and sign a subcontract na kampuni ile tauza simiti na chuma na mabati. Na hiyo kampuni watu wale wakubwa zaidi Kenya wako ndani ya wapi? So this housing levy inatolewa kwa watu ya Kenya is to make sure these houses are going on. Ndio hao wauze simiti, wauze chuma, wauze mabati. That is what the president is accusing me of not understanding and being incompetent. Sasa mimi nauliza, na mimi nataka niseme, I want to assure the people of Kenya, this team I see here, and when I listen to the people of Kenya, because I listen a lot, once a new government is sworn in, that housing levy will have to be abolished so that we restore the dignity of the payslip. The dignity of the payslip. Wakenya wamehangaishwa zaidi. Na nimeona mpaka yule mkubwa ya wafanyikazi amekuwa ameingia kwa hiyo praise and worship team. Watu nakazwa mambo ya NSSF, mambo ya haongei. Kazi yake ni praise and worship. Those are the things sisi ambaye tumeshindwa kufanya. So finally ndio nimalize, because I wanted to tell the president, usidanganye wa Kenya. Useme ukweli, tulikosania corruption because wewe ndio unaeneza corruption na watu yako. Na it is impossible to make any progress in this country unless we sort out this country in terms of leadership. We'll sink lower and lower. Finally niambie watu ya Western, because mimi naona huyo jamaa amekwama hapo kwenu. Nyinyi mko na bahati that we are here to advise you. Alienda kwenu usiku sita. Kwetu he was there 6 days out of 7 every week. Hakuna kanisa hajaingia. Hakuna barabara hajui kwa jina. Hakuna soko hajui kwa jina. And he would memorize. We were very impressed. Anataja barabara, kwa Wakikuyu wanasema These men called a community that has pride, a community that's hardworking, that is rich. Watu wamesoma. He called all of us, our bishops, our reverends, our pastors. Hata huyu Waititu na mimi Rigiji, he called all of us. Alikuwa anakuja kwa dhali ya osho. Sasa amekuja kwenu musangarere mwivalamu. That is the same script. Nyinyi mkikubali mutalia vile watu ya mlima wanalia. All those, yeah? Iyo yote ni utapeli. All those things is promising he will not do anything. He promised us atatumalizia barabara ya Maumau kwisha. Nitajenga hii. So today he does not come to our place. The last time alikuja pale Embu in November, alijaribu kuenda uongo ya housing. Washirika wakaamka kumwambia tutaki uongo hapa tena. Hiyo mambo ya uongo peleka huko Western. Akajaribu kuongea mambo ya SHA, akaambiwa tutaki uongo. Kwetu amejulikana na ndio humuone huko. Na hata akija atakutana na watu. So nyinyi watu ya Mlembe msituangushe. At least you have the benefit of free advice from victims of deception. Sindio? Simuko na free advice. Yeah? Sasa yeye halali ati nimekaa pale wa Munyoro. Mimi nakaa tu chini ya miti. Yeye hako juu ya gari. The reason President Uhuru Kenyatta alikuwa ametuambia muachane na hii mtu. But he never gave us a reason. na hapo alitukosea. Na kama angetuambia what I know today, hatungekuwa hapo. Also the choice he was giving us was also not acceptable. So pale nimekaa pale, I'm doing things differently from Uhuru Kenyatta. I'm informing the people who is William Ruto. That is why he is unhappy. Mimi nakaa pale, watu wanaeleza watu, naeleza, wanasema imetosha, wanatoka wanaenda. Nakaa pale na mapasta na waeleza, wanachukua Biblia, wanatoka wanaenda. Pale nimefunga 100%. Hata kupata agents, hatapata agents ya kusimamia kura yako. So nyinyi viongozi wetu, tafadhali naomba pia Eugene Wamalwa and your team, and then unite the Mulembe nation. Don't agree to be divided. Mimi alitaka kugawanya mlima east and west, nikamkataza. Akajaribu kugawanya counties, nikamkataza. Don't allow it. Mulembe nation, you have 5 million votes, nendeni muunganishe. Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka pale Lower Eastern 4 million, nenda uunganishe. Mimi pale sasa ilikuwa 6, nataka nisukume mpaka 8. Sasa Matiang'i waende wasukume pale 2 million. Sasa tukifikisha 15 tuketi. Si ndio? Si tutaketi? And we must not let the people of Kenya down. They were asking, wewe, wananiambia, wewe Rigathi, tenda tafuta marafiki. Kama huyu mtu ametuumiza namna hii first term, kwa bahati mbaya akirudi second term, tutakuwa tunavaa vinyasa. Sasa nyinyi tafuta marafiki, mtafute formula. Na hatutaki kujua ni nani. Mkuje mtuambie formula ni? So we shall be selfless as a team. We shall be selfless. And let us not approach this election with a predetermined mindset. That lazima ikuwe ni mimi ama ni mimi. Wacha tuseme tuko na kibarua ya kungoa hii jamaa. That is the first objective. Let us consolidate our votes, consolidate. Uzuri, payslip holders are 3 million. Na every payslip holder has a minimum influence of 2 people. Those are 9 million people who have a personal issue with William Ruto. Sasa, ongeza Gen Z. Maneno imeisha haijaisha. So, and I want to, as I sit down, I want to ask our Gen Zs, please, you are doing a very good job, our sons and daughters, on the social media, keeping this guy in check. Continue. But that is not enough. You must take IDs and register as voters. Because the final transformation of this country will happen on the ballot box, not on the smartphone. The smartphone will create the awareness and create the necessary mood and mobilize people. But the actual transformation of getting the right leadership will happen on the ballot. So we want to ask the Gen Zs and the millennials, please, take IDs, register as voters, and continue what you are doing on the smartphone. Now you are doing a good job. Huyu jamaa halali. Even he was accusing me ati mimi ndio naongoza Gen Z. Nikamwambia president, that's a good wish. If I'm the leader of Gen Z, I'm a very strong leader in this country because it's a serious force. So leaders hawa niwapongeze. This journey is not for the cowards and the faint-hearted. This man is angry and therefore dangerous. I must tell you. Alituma watu Limuru, walitaka waniue. Mungu akanisaidia. Siku ingine ametuma askari anitupie tear gas huko Shamata. Siku ingine ametuma criminal gang kuumiza bibi yangu. What he must know is that some of us, and he knows us well, of course he is forgetting. When the fourth administration was against him and persecuting us, we stood with him and never feared. Sisi sio watu ya kuuziwa uoga, hata tukiuziwa hatuna pesa ya kununua. But I want to tell these leaders, you must be steadfast. You must be on the right side of history. And with these two great leaders, and Matiang'i and the others who come on board, we'll work together. Na tutasaidiana. We'll continue consulting, tutatembeleana. Hivi karibuni, we are also going to unveil our movement, and it's a serious movement. and it's a national movement, but the home of the mountain. Just like every party has a certain home, it's a national party but with a home. Watu ya mlima wamesema sisi tulienda harusi na gari ya mtu mwingine. Kufika kwa mtu tukaambiwa tushuke. Sasa tunatafuta gari yetu ya kwenda harusi. Sasa kila iko magari hapa. Sasa tutakutana kwa harusi, Mercedes iko, Range Rover iko, magari imejaa wapi? Pale. This UDA, when I make my announcement in another few weeks, will be a shell. It will be a shell. There will be nothing. Ulifukuza sisi, tumetoka na watu wetu wote. There will nobody, even people are impatient. If you know the pressure I am under to announce the vehicle, I am not sleeping. People are impatient. They don't want to see anything yellow. You know? So, sisi tutauda gari yetu. Na itakuwa ni gari kubwa ni ya Wakenya wote. Na tunataka tuungane pamoja na hao wengine tupange Kenya. And we mean well for this country. Na mtu asikuambie ati sisi ni wakabila kwa sababu tunaunganisha nyumbani. You would be stupid to go to the national table before you organize your house. Lazima kila mtu apange nyumba ya. Alafu ndio tuketi kwa meza ya Kenya, si ndio? So we must all organize our houses so that tutengeneze nyumba hii, tutengeneze hii, tutengeneze hii, tutengeneze hii. Yeye he is bitter kwa sababu hii yangu alikuwa anafikiria ni yake. Sasa amejua si yake. Sasa ako na machungu. Na there is nothing we can do. Hatuwezi msaidia, pole. Wewe omba Mwenyezi Mungu huyu mzee aende EU kama he can give you his base. I don't know whether loyalty is transferable. Whatever he can give you, you see what to do with it. Hii ya Western naona kama imeenda, Ukabani imeenda, ya Kisii imeenda. Sasa pale kwake tutapambana. Hata sisi tutakuwa hapo. Baba akienda ile tabaki pale tutangangania na wewe. Si tutangangania? Kwa sababu hata there are some guys who came to see me from Siaya. Wanasema, they came to my house. Wanasema, sikia, Kindiki, sisi, our loyalty is not transferable. Sisi ni watu ya baba. Akishaenda AU, tuko free. Na sisi vile tunaona yeye ni mtu ya kusema ukweli tunaweza elewa. So, even that Nyanza, baba akienda, will be there also. Because there are also people who want to join the rest of Kenya. So mimi nimefurahi sana and thank you very much na tumeshukuru DAP Kenya continue consolidating until Governor Natembea asiuziwe uoga na hata akiuziwa asinunue. You know they were saying that when they impeach me at I am finished at 2 weeks alidanganywa na vijana hapo hii ya town. Hii mlima they have no use for any leader who is not having a position. Tukitoa huyu wanawachana naye wanachukua yule mpya. Sasa kila siku wanaongea juu yangu. Na bado waacha tuweke gari tuungane na hao viongozi and then tutembee. Na mwaka hii ya 25 ndio ya kujipanga. 26 ni si ndio? Hii 25 tupanga agree. So that we have enough members of parliament. We'll sit down so that we don't compete against each other. Kama hii Nairobi we have 17 constituencies. Nilikuwa nafanya hesabu naona between this team we can take 15 out of 17. Hii governor ya Nairobi tutachukua asubuhi mapema. Within this team here, we just sit down and do proper arithmetic. Nakuru, everywhere, Mombasa, will sit down so that we don't fight against each other. Tutapangana vizuri ndio tuone maisha itakaa namna gani. Otherwise I want to say thank you very much. May God bless you. Mtasalimiana? Mtakuja kutembea Monyoro? Mtakuja siku gani? Asanteni.
And in the hot seat were